How hard is med school really? I'll be getting into that in this video. Okay? Yeah. Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Jordan. I'm a first year medical student studying in the UK. And yeah, I thought I should make this video today to kind of give my insight into how hard was first year med school. I passed my last exam, we made it, so that was good news. I'm gonna talk about the ups and downs of med schools, the real insight you need. If you're thinking about getting into medicine, if you're applying into medicine, if you're starting medical school this season, this academic season, this video is for you, okay? But straight off the bat, man, med school's hard, man. I wanna go home. Alright, that was a little sidetrack. I do have some notes written down, some bullet points from what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so the first part I'm going to talk about to answer this question of how hard is medical school is talking about the academic intensity. Now, when we think about like the volume of what we're learning and the difficulty, it's a lot, but it's not impossible. The hardest thing is staying on top of your notes, because how the curriculum runs, at least at my medical school, is every single 2 weeks of the academic year, we have a case unit. So in the first term, we had cells to systems. So we'd have lectures and content based on cells to systems. And then the next 2 weeks, we moved on to a different topic. So we moved on to like heart. The next 2 weeks, we moved on to like lungs, etc. So it kind of forces you to stay on top of your notes, because if you don't, like when we think about like the volume of work and the difficulty, if you're not revisiting what you just learned, it's very difficult to maintain that revision, like for you to not only like revise the content, but organize your notes, make sure you understand it. And it can be quite daunting at times when you're moving on to a new case unit and you feel kind of behind on your notes. In comparison to A-level, this is definitely a step up. Like there's like a meme that says like med students learn like a fire hydrant, like, no, Jordan, come on. Like it's like learning like water's coming out of a fire hydrant. And what I'm trying to say, man, med school's tough, man. It's challenging. It's a very rigorous course, which requires you to be organized. It requires you to stay on top of your notes, and it requires you to always be doing something every day. I'm not saying to be studying hours and hours every single day. I didn't do that. But I'll talk about my first term experience, because in first term I did experience burnout, and in my second term I switched how I was studying, and yeah, it was a lot better. But definitely the academic intensity is something you definitely need to consider, because you're going to have more work and it's going to be more difficult in terms of the actual content. So for those that did like biology and chemistry, we still learn about that, just in a bit more detail now. And yeah, it makes it quite difficult, because you might have like a really heavy lecture, and then the next day you have another lecture, and then before you know it, you're on a new case unit and you still need to revise that difficult topic. So yeah, staying on top of your notes can be quite challenging. So yeah, it's like there's no chill really, constantly just another module. And even in those breaks you get, like Easter break, Christmas break, you're gonna be like revising, well you should be. I should have revised more actually when I had the chance. Anyways, yeah, on to point number 2. Okay, so the second thing, I kind of touched on this, but it's time management. Time management. Now, you won't survive without structure. As I said, every single week you're getting lectures, you're being taught, you have clinical skill sessions. You need to manage your time effectively so you can block certain things where you can do work, and for you to really optimize your studying routine. You know, like some people prefer studying early in the morning. Some people prefer studying like late in the evening. Some people, I'm revising, I'm going to play my PlayStation. Okay, so I mean, like like as a med student, you need to be able to have time management, and this is something I learned coming into medicine, is that you have to be on top of kind of your day, you know, because as I said, when I was burnt out, I was so focused on studying that I wasn't, I think I was doing too much. I'll make a separate video on this because I don't want to go off into a sidetrack. But balance is needed, to balance lectures, to balance your, the anatomy labs, study, social life. In my first time, I wasn't really outgoing, but you need that balance. Man, I'm called holistic Jordan, man. I gotta be outside, I gotta be inside, I gotta be studying, I gotta be working out, I gotta be teaching, I don't know why I'm rotating, but yeah. But it is a struggle balancing all the different aspects of your life. But yeah, like you don't want to get that burnout from constantly studying and you're not even going outside. Have balance. If the sun's out, go outside, enjoy some time with your friends. You can go out clubbing, enjoy yourself, listen to some music. You can go and play some football, whatever it is. You can go and paint, but just make sure that I say one of the tips I can give is not be studying all the time. And if that's something you're comfortable doing, that's cool. For me, that doesn't work. So I study. I have a time where I study, hour, 2 hours, but in that day I make sure I also go to the gym, because going to the gym and exercising is good because you're going to release those endorphins. Man, you're going to feel good, you got to feel pumped up, right? So yeah, I want to talk a bit about studying methods. So in med school, I mean, what I do now is, I think active recall really helps me, just recalling that information. So I would make like short answer questions. So it could be something as simple as what neurotransmitter is released at the neuromuscular junction? That's the question. In my head I think, okay, what neurotransmitter? Okay, acetylcholine, it diffuses across the synaptic cleft, binds on the post-synaptic acetylcholine receptors. That's your nicotinic receptors. So acetylcholine binds, the pore opens up and allows sodium to influx into the cell and depolarize the motor end plate. Man, Jordan, you're smart, man. How did you just... Okay, I'm gonna also be doing teaching videos as well from different medical topics. And this will serve as a revision for myself. But yeah, active recall is your go-to method. A lot of people use Anki. I just have everything on my Notion. I make my questions, put it on Notion. I can put it in toggles, I can color code it, so the question I get right, put it in green, wrong, red, etc. Okay? But time management is going to be your best friend. Learning to develop the skill of time management is going to be so important in med school. So important. And that's something I only learned towards the end of my first year. Because first year, me managing time, I wasn't doing it as, you learn, all right? You will learn, okay? But yeah, time management, active recall for revision. And yeah, this kind of leads me on to my next point, is the study game must evolve. It must evolve, okay? In med school, passive reading doesn't work. It doesn't work. No, you have to be active. Active, and then there's passive. You want to be active. You want to be moving about, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. So you want to use active recall, you want to use spaced repetition. Best way I learn is doing teachers, actually going on the whiteboard and teaching within the med school, teaching some of my peers, etc. So that's really helped me, because if I can explain something to someone in a simple way, in my head I can now understand that, because I'm able to explain it. And that's what I aim to do on my YouTube videos. I'm doing teachers and stuff, and it's like, neuromuscular junction, acetylcholine. Sound cool, sound smart. But yeah, the study game must evolve. You're going to be doing those things. You're going to be working on, and that was something I was finding out in first year med, where I was doing a lot of passive reading to start off and reading textbooks and taking notes, and I realized it was taking quite some time, when now I learn best through questions. So while I'm in my lecture, I'm kind of just formulating questions from what they're saying, staying nice and engaged. When I go back, I'd like really write out all of my questions, covering like all of the lecture. And in my meantime, I'll look for diagrams, etc. Make my flashcards, have some diagrams on them. And yeah, really just learn to have fun while studying. And teaching for me, like on the whiteboard, I have fun while studying. Because otherwise I'm just reading just a textbook. I'll be bored, alright? And YouTube videos help as well. They actually do help. So I'll be one of those YouTubers that watch. You can enjoy the content and have fun while learning, okay? The fourth point I want to talk about in med school is your emotional and mental load. Your emotional and your mental load. Imposter syndrome is real. I think coming into med school, yeah man, it's like you want to fit in, you know, you want to find your people. One thing I say is don't force anything. Be yourself, be the authentic you, and you'll just attract people who are going to come into your life and you're going to form really good connections with. And yeah, like you attract who you are. So yeah, I think that's going to help. That's going to help with you understanding even just the journey. Even just everyone has a different journey coming into med school. You know, you can be grounded in who you are, why you're here, and yeah, life's what you make it at the end of the day. So when you're dealing with that emotional and mental load, it's like one thing which helps is understanding who you are. And understand how amazing you are as well, knowing that you can, like the fact that you got into medical school, give yourself congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back, because you're here and there's going to be a lot of challenges, but reminding yourself who you are is important because yeah man, like in days when you don't want to do the work, and I've had this in medical school, emotionally burnt out, I'm glad I was able to hit like a rock bottom within med school and get through it and become stronger and actually get through first year. I give myself a pat on the back for that. Yeah, that was from my back. Yeah. And also normalize not knowing everything. Like a lot of people coming into med school are very intelligent, A-star students, A's. Med school is like, you're not gonna get 100% in your exam all the time. You're gonna get things wrong, and it's actually good not knowing. It really tests my knowledge. If someone, like a lecturer is speaking, asks a question, no, actually I don't know that, I'm thinking. And that does something in my brain where it's like, oh, I start forming links and I put my hand up, I might get a question wrong, but I was on the right lines. Put my hand up again, I get a question right. So yeah, one thing again in medical school is use your lecturers and you can use your peers. When we have like small group teaching sessions, I'm always asking questions. My hand's always up, I'm always answering questions or doing my best to answer questions because that's how I learn, through being curious. So in medical school, you want to have that curiosity to learn, because it's really interesting when you're learning about like the musculoskeletal system and the different muscles and the biceps. And man, what you doing, Jordan, man? What you trying to flex? Why are you flexing your flexors and extending your okay. Find importance in talking to your peers, mentors, and find the support that you need. I was using the mental wellbeing services at my university, and it really helped me kind of get back to the basics on what I needed to be doing. And from there, it's been a steady climb. So yeah, utilize your support and just remind yourself of who you are. And you're powerful, you're amazing, because you made it into med school and you can get through it. Alright? Other people have done it before, you can do it too. Okay, and the fifth thing, like maybe like a common misconception or something people want to know is, do medical students have a social life? Jordan, what's your social life like? Well, man, I study 8 hours a day, man, and I don't leave my house. No, that's not me. Can't do that, and you have to socialize. You have to have that balance. But again, it depends on who you are. I'm big on environment. If the environment's cool, and let's say there's music and there's vibes, I'm gonna be there. When the sun's outside, I'm outside. I'm playing football. But social life is so important because medical school's 5 years, man. You want to be able to maintain relationships with those around you, and finding your people is the best feeling. The best feeling when you're having conversations. And yeah, like with your guys, with your girls, everyone's just chilling. yeah, definitely find your people in med school. But social life, let me write it down actually. Social life, does it exist? It exists, but you have to protect it. So when I was emotionally burnt out, some of the things I realized I was neglecting, I wasn't going out. Man, coming into second year, I'm going outside. I'm gonna be outside, man. You need to shout out the things outside of medical school which keep you sane. For me, I do a lot of calisthenics and training. That keeps, it takes my mind off studying all the time. Yeah, there's different things you can go. You can go out with your friends to a restaurant, to a club, wherever it is, to an event, and really enjoy yourself. It's like you don't want to just be inside all the time. It's like I can't do that all the time. But I have my periods, like, don't get me wrong, I think it's important to be comfortable being alone, especially when you're on your purpose and you're building, you're staying focused. It makes sense to, if you feel best studying alone, yeah, you can study alone, study with your friends, whatever works for you. But my main point is, your social life is dependent on your circle, on the things you do. It depends on your choices. If you choose to stay inside all the time and you're feeling bad about it, you can change that. You can change that and you can be like, you know what, let me message with my friends and maybe let's go out. And you might go out and you might really enjoy it. You might want to go out again with friends. It could be on Friday, Saturday night, man. You got some R&B music playing, you just walking, man, you're chilling. You enjoying yourself, okay? And just the last point, I don't know if you can even see this, tips. Yeah, tips for med students. So I just wrote down a couple tips. Start learning. So tip 1 is start learning how to learn before you arrive. So find out what works best for you, because your study method might be different from what you're currently doing in A-levels to what you could be doing in med school. So I would say do some pre-reading and see what study method works for you. If it's listening to or watching like a YouTube video and then getting a blank piece of paper, write everything down you remember, going back in the video and then in a different color, writing out everything you didn't understand or you didn't quite remember, trying to explain something to one of your family members or friends, something like that. But find out what study method works for you, because when you're already in medical school, it's like you already know what works. But going back to point 3, the study game must evolve. So you are going to be forced to find something, to find a study method which works for you, okay? Tip 2, don't obsess over being perfect, all right? It's progress over perfection. In med school, you're not gonna be getting 100% of the time. A pass is a pass, so aim to pass, but aim high though. You wanna be able to aim high. It's like you can have certain expectations, but don't be disheartened if you don't reach them, okay? Like you might have really high expectations, you might not reach it, but you might have still passed the exam. You know? So yeah, just remind yourself that like med school isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about how your character is transforming. In these 5 years of med school, you are basically sculpting into being that doctor you want to be. Okay? So yeah, don't obsess with being perfect, man. It's all about progress. Take that time. Step 3 is, bro, you have to be good with taking breaks without feeling guilty. It's like, I'm not gonna be studying at every hour of the day. Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm taking a break. You have to be like, nah, I'm taking a break today. Before you break yourself, okay? But even doctors need rest. Even doctors need rest. Yeah, bonus tip as well, go and get a whiteboard. I have a whiteboard at home, literally bought off Amazon. But whiteboards help so much. If you're not using paper, but you're still writing out with the whiteboard, you're still, you know, like you're still using those psychomotor part of the body when you're writing, and it just helps with remembering things and everything like that, okay? So to wrap this video up, med school is hard, but it's not impossible, okay? You don't need to be a genius, you just need to be consistent. In med school, you need to be consistent. As I said, the academic intensity is very rigorous, you can have content just coming at you. You're just like, shit, man, what's happening, man? I can't keep up. But yeah, be consistent, okay? And if you're thinking about med school or you're already in it, drop some questions and share your thoughts. Share some of the struggles and problems you experience in med school, and talk about some of your solutions as well. What works for you, what didn't work, things like that. Okay? So that's today's video. How hard is med school? Some medical school tips from a medical student who's going into the second year now. So looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a step up from first year, but I'm mentally preparing myself for that. And I think a good way for me to kind of revise the content I've learned this year is to make videos, kind of get out content which can help to teach other people, and create that spark for other people to be like, whoa, this is really interesting. I want to know more about medicine. Do I want to go into medicine? Stuff like that. Okay, so it's Holistic Jordan. This is the video, and I will talk to you in the next video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.